walk-off for the Toronto Blue Jays, and not only did they walk this ball game off 6-5 and improve to 29-25 on the year, they sweep away, but they don't, it's not your usual 3-game sweep, so I don't have the giant one out there, but I got the mini brush. I got the mini brush out here for the mini sweep as the Blue Jays sweep away the Miami Marlins, winning 6-5 in 9 innings. And as I mentioned, improved to 29-25 in the year. This was a comeback victory, a team effort, and this team could have quit. The weather, the inability to get the clutch hits early in the game, they could have just quit. But they did not, and they came back in the bottom of the 9th, and they got some big-time hits, and you walk off a ball game, and you win the 2-gamer against the Marlins. And obviously now you have the really tough stretch of Houston, Boston, and the Yankees, but you knew you had to take care of business today. And they did. Now, Alek Manoah got the start for the Blue Jays today, the second big league start. Wasn't as spot on with his command as he was against the New York Yankees. Got touched up for some home runs in the ball game. But this is a guy who's thrown a total of 40-something odd career innings in professional baseball. So this is a learning experience for the young fella, right? He's learned, hey, I can't make mistakes with pitches because good big league hitters will kill me. And even a guy like Jesus Aguilar, the ball that he hit, I don't know how the heck he hit that out of the ballpark, but good hitters find ways, right? And that's what he's going to learn as time goes along. But I'm fine with him having a rough outing, and I'm glad he had one instead of kind of, dominating for a while and then hitting that wall and not being able to find a way. He gets it early, find a way to get through it. He'll be fine. I'm not worried about Alek Manoah. But let's get to this ball game. Top of the second inning, Corey Dickerson, it's a solo shot off of Manoah, and it makes it a 1-0 lead for the Marlins in the top half of the second. It's a 1-0 ball game. We know the Jays offense. I'm not too worried about that. And in the bottom half of the second inning, Randal Grichuk gets a changeup on the inner half, and I really like this swing from Grichuk because he pulled the hands in, stayed short to the ball, and got barreled the baseball, right? You think about a regular swing. Your hands are long, and that's fine when the ball's middle or away. But when the ball's in the inner half or even inside off the plate, you pull those hands in, that barrel is quick to the ball. And that's exactly what Randal Grichuk did there. Got barreled to ball, pulled the hands in, and crushed it out of the ballpark to tie the game at 1 at the time. Great job by Randal Grichuk. Then the top half of the third inning, though, Chisholm hits a 2-run shot. Devers comes in to score, making it a 3-1 lead for the Marlins. And then Aguilar hits that solo bomb to make it a 4-1 lead for the Miami Marlins. And coming into the series, I said, look, if you can find a way to pitch well against these guys, to score some runs against these guys, you'll do fine because they can't hit. Well, they scored 4 runs, and I'm like, this might be interesting because their pitching staff isn't all that bad. So we'll have to see how it all plays out. Bottom of the 4th inning, Randal Grichuk comes out again. Again, another pitch that he really has no business hitting out of the ballpark, but he crushes it. And I mean, clobbers this ball to left center, and it's way gone. So he's the only one doing any damage to this point. It's a 4-2 ball game. He's got 2 home runs in the ball game. Home runs number 10 and 11 for Randal Grichuk on the year, and it's a 4-2 ball game, right? Jay's offense, though, struggling the rest of the game, not really getting that clutch hit. They had opportunities, but they can't get anything going. And then the top half of the 7th inning off of Trent Thornton, Starling Marte, it's a solo shot, and that makes it a 5-2 game with the rain pouring down and you not being able to get any clutch hits early in this game. At one point, they had, second and third? With 1 out? I don't know. They had an opportunity early in the ball game with 2 runners in scoring position, and they just could not bring them home. And I had a feeling that might come back to haunt you. And I thought it was near the end. I thought it was a turning point. But we'll get to the turning point in a second. And I want to bring that up. It was Joel Payamps. So we'll get to him in a second. But then in the top half of the 7th inning, with Marcus, with a couple guys on base, and Teoscar Hernandez at the dish, and he hits a chopper up the middle. Looks like an easy play for Chisholm, but it goes in and out of his glove. To me, it looked like he was looking at second base before he even got the ball in his glove. And you learn in Little League Baseball, get the ball first, then make the play. But he got ahead of himself there. Ball pops out of his glove. In comes Marcus Semien, and the Blue Jays are. It's a 5-3 ball game. They're right there. And unfortunately, it was 1st and 3rd. They could not capitalize on that to get a run home and even make it a 1-run ball game there. So it's still a 5-3 game. They can't get anything going in the bottom half of the 8th inning. And you go to the bottom of the 9th with their closer on, an ERA of 1.66 coming into the game. He's been dominant all year. And Reese McGuire, your number 9 hitter, leads off with a single right back up the middle, and that is huge because this top of the lineup in this game had really not gotten anything going. Simeon hadn't got a hit yet. Bo was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Vladdy had the triple in the first inning, but that was it for him. Hernandez hasn't gotten any hits. It's like, this is your time to come up clutch and be big for your team. And with Reese McGuire getting on to start the inning and bring the tying run to the plate, Marcus Semien, great at bat, full count pitch, punches the ball through the left side between third and short. All right, 2 on, nobody out. The tying run's on base. The game-winning run is at the plate with Bo, Vladdy, and Teo coming up. Exactly the guys you want up to bat. And that Bo Bichette at bat, he was down 2 strikes. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, if I'm a pitcher, what am I doing? He has not been able to catch up to the fastball at all in this at bat. He threw 97, he has not caught up to it. So why are you going to throw him an off speed to have his bat speed catch up? You know you're going to get another fastball. Bo knew he was getting another fastball, and he gets a fastball. I swear Bo reminds me of Kevin Pillar in the sense that he has no business getting the pitches that he finds ways to barrel them up. And what does he do? Gets a fastball looked like at the neck, but he barrels it up down the first baseline, Oppo Taco. It stays fair. It goes all the way into the corner. The right fielder misplays, but it doesn't matter. Davis comes in to score because he was pinch hit running for Reese McGuire. In comes Marcus Semien. Bo goes all the way around to third base on the play, and the Blue Jays have tied it at 5. Bo gets to third. He's got no bucket on. He probably didn't have the bucket rounding first base. He fires the flow up, gets the guys going on the bench, and the Jays are 90 feet away from walking this game off. Now, what do they decide to do? A very ballsy move if you are the Miami Marlins, but I understand it. You have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. up and Teoscar Hernandez up after him. They decide to not pitch to either of those guys, load the bases with nobody out. There's an out everywhere. They bring the infield in for Randall Grichuk, and honestly, I agree with that play. Randall Grichuk, prone to the strikeout. I understand that move. And Randall Grichuk chops to the third base. They throw it home, get the lead runner. All right, there's 1 out. Up comes Joe Panik, and he comes up, and I told my family, they were watching it with me, I'm like, I got all the faith in the world in Joe Panik. The veteran lefty bat, gets great bat-to-ball skills. He'll find a way to make something happen here. And he hits a ball deep to center field. Marte doesn't even buy it. It went off his glove, but he clearly didn't care because he knew it was going to be a ball game. In comes Vladdy, and the Blue Jays walk it off 6-5 over the Miami Marlins, and this team does not quit. I mean, they had no business being in this game. The way they weren't getting any hits early any hits with runners in scoring position early in this game. They were barreling some up, but it was going right to guys. It just looked like a day that was not their night. Manoah gave him a tough outing. Your bullpen did a great job for the most part, other than Thornton giving up the solo shot to Starling Marte. Your bullpen did a great job, but you just weren't finding the offense. Your top of shot wasn't getting anything done, but it took a number 9 hitter, Reese McGuire, to lead off single in the 9th to spark the rally, and you come back and walk this game off. This is the Toronto Blue Jays. I've said it since day one. If this team can find a way to get some really good starting pitching, they'll be fine. Their offense is good enough. We've seen it night in, night out. Even when they weren't going today, they found a way to get it done in the 9th. Hell of a job for these guys. Offensively, Marcus Semien. First off, congrats to Marcus Semien for being named AL Player of the Month. And well-deserved. When you hit 368 in the month and an on-base of like 430, I think it's well-deserved. 1 for 3 in the game, 2 runs scored. He walked twice, just continues to play well. He had 2 hits yesterday as well. Starting June off on the right note is Marcus Semien. Bo Bichette, 1 for 4. He had 3 strikeouts before that, but who cares? The biggest 1 for 4 of the ball game, had 2 RBIs, walked once, and brought home the two runs to tie it there in the 9th. Randall Grichuk went 2 for 5, had the 2 solo home runs, 2 runs scored, a couple RBIs, obviously, on those home runs. And Lourdes Gurriel Jr., we talked about it yesterday, guys. He is starting to get hot. And yeah, he didn't really contribute to any of the runs today. Still, 2 for 4 for Lourdes Gurriel Jr., hitting up near 265 now. He's really starting to swing the bat well, and that is so good to see because that just lengthens this Jays lineup out even more than it already is. It's pretty fantastic to watch. Now let's get to the pitching staff, all right? Real quick before we wrap this game up and preview the next series against the Houston Astros starting on Friday. Alek Manoah got the ball in game one, or in this game today, and 3 1/3, 4 hits, 4 runs, 5 strikeouts, and walked 3. You know the strikeout numbers are going to be there for Manoah, especially against a team that strikes out a lot in the Miami Marlins. But again, 4 hits allowed. I think he allowed 3 home runs. He walked 3. I think one of those walks came around to score. So a tough day in the office for Alek Manoah. But like I said earlier, I'm okay. I'm glad he had a rough outing early because and especially since the Jays came back and won that game, because it's a learning experience for the young fella. He's never had a game in the minor leagues where he's gotten roughed up a little bit. And today was his first time he's been roughed up at the professional level. So now it's a learning experience for the young fella. 23 years old is he? 22 years old? Whatever the case may be. He's played not even 50 innings in professional baseball, and he had his first rough outing. He'll be fine. I'm not worried about Alek Manoah. He has the stuff. He'll be fine. Just run him out there every 5 days, let him work through it, and keep working out through the off season, through the off days. He'll be fine. Not worried about Alek Manoah. The turning point in this game, though, was in that 4th inning. Joel Payamps goes out there, and he goes out there with bases loaded and 1 out for Chisholm and Marte, the 1-2 guys in the batting order for I think it was 1-2. Either way, it was Chisholm and it was and Starling Marte, 2 of the best hitters in that lineup. What does he do with the bases loaded and 1 out? Already a 4-1 ball game. He strikes out Chisholm and gets Marte to ground out to Bo Bichette to end the inning. Can you imagine if Chisholm hits a base hit or a gapper or whatever the case may be? They drive in a couple more runs. It goes from a 4-1 game to a 6-1 game, or if it's a home run, it's an 8-1 game. It could have blown the game wide open. But Payamps goes out there, shuts the door, and yeah, it maybe looked bleak early on, but it allowed the Blue Jays to find a way to crawl back. And it was a hell of a job from him. Listen to this. He ended up going 2 innings of work. No hits, no walks, and a strikeout. People can yap him all you want, and I have at times, maybe earlier in the year, but this guy's pitched some pretty big innings. Remember those extra innings? I think it was against Tampa. He was great there. One time, he couldn't find the zone and was roughed up in that one extra inning affair. I think it was against Tampa as well. But either way, you can't expect Joel Payamps to give you grade A quality every single night. But today, he was fantastic. He was great. Tim Mesa goes out there for 2 guys, strikes them both out. Great job for Mesa. Thorne goes out there, obviously an inning, gives up the 1 run, the solo shot to Starling Marte, strikes out 2 batters in his 1 inning. But again, at that time, when he gave up that home run, we all thought it was over. The Blue Jays didn't think so, though. All right, we saw Carl Edwards Jr. out there for the Blue Jays today, and he went an inning, allowed 1 hit, nothing else doing, so a good job for him going out there and putting up a 0. And then Anthony Castro, I think he hit a guy in the 1 inning, but either way, clean inning, no runs crossed, no hits, no walks, so a great job for Castro. Again, allowing the Blue Jays to find a way. You get Carl Edwards Jr. and Castro going out there and putting up some zeros late in the ball game to give your team that chance, and they come back and walk it off. What a ball game, what a win for the Toronto Blue Jays today, and Jays fans enjoy it for a couple days because the Jays are off tomorrow as they welcome in the Houston Astros to Salem Field there on Friday night. Game 1, it's a doozy of a pitching matchup. Hyun Jin Ryu gets the ball for the Blue Jays in Game 1, and Zach Greinke gets the ball for the Houston Astros in Game 1 to 7:07 first pitch there. If I'm not mistaken, the Astros are beating the Red Sox right now on the verge of sweeping the Sox. The Yankees were losing to the Rays? Or was it the Rays were losing to the Yankees? Either way, one of those teams got to lose, and the Red Sox are losing, and the Blue Jays, again, they're now 4 games over 500. They're starting to crawl their way back up again, 1 game at a time, Jays fans. They've won their last 2. I don't care what the other team looked like. You found a way to win ball games. That's all that matters. You got to take care of business against the teams that you should be beating, and they did that today. No matter how they did it, they won. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and you enjoyed the ending to this ball game, smack the like button. Do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys not done so already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on the game. Would you like, would you not like from today's ball game for the Toronto Blue Jays? And I will talk to you guys Raptors edition tomorrow, as I'll be doing the season review, off-season preview, breaking down the year that was, how miserable it was, but the looking forward now, because that's all we can really do with the Toronto Raptors. We'll talk about that tomorrow. And as for the Toronto Blue Jays, we'll talk to you guys on Friday night. Game 1 of the series against the Houston Astros, a big set against a tough team. Hyun Jin Ryu gets the ball for the Blue Jays, and Zach Greinke gets the ball for the Astros in Game 1. 7:07 first pitch there at Salem Field. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll talk to you guys then.